Season of Discovery Phase 3 is here, and I'm going to show you everything you need to know to succeed as an Enhancement Shaman DPS. Let's start off with the stat priority. First of all, the enemies in the Sunken Temple raid will be 2 levels above us, and that means the hit cap we want to try and achieve is 6%. Going on after that, then, of course, we're trying to improve our DPS. The first one, therefore, is going to be Strength at the top of our pick. 1 strength equals 2 attack power, meaning the third one then is raw attack power, because 1 attack power equals 1 attack power. Or you could say 1 attack power equals 0.5 strength. So for every 1 strength, you're going to need 2 attack power to make it worth it. Agility then is going to grant us a small amount of critical strike, and also some dodge and armor. So it's almost like a utility stat. And then 5th, of course, is sort of crit on its own. So where strength is better than AP, agility is better than crit on its own, for example. And these are the main stats we're going to be looking for on gear. And in Season Discovery, Blizzard have done a pretty good job at phases 2 and 3 of putting the right stats on the right gear for the right people, so I wouldn't worry too much. If there is any other stats that you want, the only one really would be intellect, because it's going to give you some more mana to do more DPS with, but that's not really going to be an issue anyway. Of course, this is enhancements. So we're putting a lot of our talents into the enhancement tree. What a shock, I know. 5 out of 5 then starting in Ancestral Knowledge, increasing our mana by 5%. And then we're going to put quite a lot of things on the next row. 3 out of 3 into Improve Lightning Shield, improving the damage done by our Lightning Shield orbs by 15%. 2 out of 2 in Improved Golf Wolf, reducing the cast time of it by 2 seconds. 5 out of 5 into Thundering Strikes, increasing the chance to get a critical strike with our weapon attacks by 5%. And then going on to the next row, it's 2 out of 2 into Enhancing Totems, increasing the effect of our Strength of Earth and Grace of Air totems by 15%. We're then going to go down into 5 out of 5 Flurry. After we get a crit, this is going to increase our attack speed by 30% for the next 5 swings. Again, making crits really, really good. Going down one more, it's 3 out of 3 into Elemental Weapons, increasing the melee attack power bonus of our Rockbiter weapon by 20%, our Wind Fury weapon by 40%, and increases the damage by our Flame Tongue weapon and Frostbrand weapon by 15%. Regarding those weapon enhancements then, if you're not sure which you should be using, I always recommend that you have Wind Fury on your main hand, and either Wind Fury, Rockbiter, or Flame Tongue on your offhand. If you're not sure then which to pick, just go with Wind Fury. If you go with Flame Tongue, it can rely on the weapon speed, etc. a bit more, and things start to get a bit more complex at that level. And don't forget, Rockbiter weapon, although good, is going to give you extra threat generation, hence why Wind Fury is the safer option. That is entirely up to you, of course. So carrying on then, we're going to put 1 into Parry, giving us literally the chance to parry. We don't have the chance without it. 5 out of 5 into Weapon Mastery, increasing damage of all weapons by 10%, a no-brainer there. And 1 out of 1 into Storm Strike, a great 20-second cooldown, if you can even call that a cooldown. Ability, giving you an extra attack. In addition, the next 2 sources of nature damage dealt to the target are increased by 20%. So that's going to take us up to level 41, and we've got 9 more points to use. We're going to be putting these into Elemental. 5 out of 5 going into Concussion, increasing the damage done by Lightning, Bolt, and Chain Lightning and our Shock spells by 5%. 3 out of 3 into Call of Flame, increasing the damage done by our Fire totems, which we are going to be using. And then our last point can go into Elemental Warding, quite simply reducing the damage taken by a few effects there, as you can see. So now let's get onto the really exciting bit of the runes. On the gloves then, it's going to be Lava Lash. You charge your offhand weapon with lava, instantly dealing 100% offhand weapon damage. Damage is increased by 125% if your offhand weapon is enchanted with Flame Tongue. And this is a really cheap and easy way to get an extra bit of damage into the rotation if you take it. Next up is the Pants. It's one of my favourite runes, Shamanistic Rage, reducing all damage you take by 20%, and you regenerate mana equal to 5% of your maximum mana every second for 15 seconds. Your party and raid members will also receive 20% of the mana you receive. It's a really great way of actually giving your raid members some mana back within the raid, so you don't want to be selfish and actually think about them. They're going to get loads of mana back, as will you. Kind of a no-brainer on that one, especially in a group setting. On the chest piece then, we're going for dual wield specialization, of course, main hand and offhand, increasing your chance to hit with both spells and melee attacks by 10% while dual wielding. Fantastic. There's our hit that we need. Your Storm Strike ability now hits with both weapons while dual wielding, increases the damage done by your offhand weapon by 50%, which is massive. Don't forget, that's that talent here we took, Storm Strike. On the waist, we're going to go with Maelstrom Weapon. When you deal damage with a melee attack, you have a chance to reduce the cast time and mana cost of your next Lightning Bolt, Chain Lightning, Lesser Healing Wave, Chain Heal, Lava Burst spell by 20%. The chances increase by 50% when your main hand weapon is enchanted with Wind Fury Weapon, hence having Wind Fury on our main, and that does stack up to 5 times, lasting 30 seconds. Again, that's a passive ability that's really fantastic. On the feet, we're going with Spirit of the Alpha. This is a bit of a complex one, but I love it. Infuses the target with Spirit of the Alpha, increasing the threat generated by the target. We can put that on a tank. Limited to 1 target. If cast on a target other than yourself, which obviously it will be, the Shaman, well, unless you're a tank, the Shaman will gain Loyal Beta, increasing physical damage done by 5% and reducing all threat generated by 30% for 30 minutes. A target cannot have both. Basically, you put this on a tank and then we're going to get a benefit from it as well, which is really, really good. And now for the last 2 runes, of course, that we're getting from Phase 3, we're going to go for Mental Dexterity on the head. Dealing damage with your melee weapons increases your attack power by 100% of your intellect and your spell damage, and healing by 30% of your total attack power for 1 minute, hence why we want as much attack power as possible. And lastly, on the wrist, it's going to be Static Shock. Your Lightning Shield, which we have spec'd into improved Lightning Shield, remember, now has 9 charges, and your melee attacks have a 6% chance to trigger one of those charges, immediately damaging your target. Because normally, with your Lightning Shield, they have to attack you for the damage to be reflected onto them. With this, they don't, which is amazing, and I love it. Now then, let's see how it all comes together into the rotation. So, of course, like I just said, use your Spirit of the Alpha on somebody else so that we get that buff on ourselves. We're also going to keep up our group buffing totems, and we're going to use our Searing Totem as our fire damage totem. You want to obviously keep that near the enemies that you're going to be actually using it to damage with. Shamanistic Rage, use that on cooldown, remember, to give yourself and our party members or raid members juicy bit of mana back, but don't want to use it right at the start on cooldown, because obviously we won't have any mana actually spent yet to recoup, so do wait until you've got enough to make that worth it, but then you can use it on cooldown after that point. When you do reach 5 Maelstrom stacks, which you will be doing passively, you can then use your Chain Lightning. Hopefully, you're going to have your Storm Strike damage debuff up on the target as well, and you will be using Storm Strike on cooldown. Same with Lava Lash, and pretty much same as Flame Shock. We want to keep that up on our target at all times. If you've got nothing else to use, Frost Shock is going to be the one to do, but Flame Shock is the higher priority, and that is really as simple as it gets for Enhancement Shaman in Phase 3 of SoD. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I can't wait to get in game and actually play this spec. It's really, really fun. I think Blizzard have made a great choice with a lot of the specs, to be honest. If you do need any more help or suggestions, though, please do join the Discord. We've got a really active and helpful community. You can also join my Patreon, where you can message me on there if you have any questions or queries. And it also opens up a VIP channel in Discord. You're going to get my WoW spreadsheets and loads of behind the scenes content as well, and of course it supports the channel if you would wish to. This isn't my full-time job. I actually just do this in my spare time. I'm just sat here filming this one before bed at the moment. And if you do want any other SoD Phase 3 guides, you can get them up here on my channel in the shelf that says current class guides. I always keep this one up to date and take out any playlists that are no longer relevant. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you have as much fun as I am in SoD, and I'll see you in Azeroth.